Hey, it's AG, and welcome back to the comic book collection update. Um, this week I was testing out some mics, and I don't have time to redo everything. So, but the audio is going to be a little bad, and also there was issue 3 of the Code Witch, A Tale of the Shrouded College. Thing is about that is that also I'm not going to add that one in because somewhere number 2 issue 2 came out and we didn't I never found it, but I got it coming in sometime this like probably Tuesday, uh probably when this get uploaded. So yeah, Tuesday after this gets uploaded. So that's the only one that's probably going to be have to hold. And also with that, there's going to have 4 other comics, a full issue, because it was like a limited issue series, and it's about I'm not gonna say what it's about, but it's only 4 issues. So I ordered that. So I'm gonna have that Cold Witch issue 2 and 3, and also we're gonna have whatever comes out next week, all in next video. Okay, so we have first up is a free comic for the week for Shark Week, and it's Aquaman, a free Shark Week comic. I'm gonna start off something about the texture of the paper. Since it was free, the texture of the paper was low quality. Someone told me it felt like newspaper, and it shows. It's very noticeable as newspaper. But I'm not gonna lie, the read was, I don't know. I'm surprised it was actually somewhat interesting, but at the same time, it wasn't really all that. Free comic though, so I read it. If I had to pay for it, I probably would have skipped it. It's Aquaman. That's why. Uh, but the base, the gist of the story was some scientists were trying to learn about how the sharks jump up in the air, like from out the water, like jump out the water into the air to catch a prey. Aquaman was there running away from his from Ocean Master, I think that's what the name was, or Sea Master, what Ocean Master, but his brother, basically, right? So he's running away from his brother because his brother is trying to get this gauntlet to control the waves. Aquaman was basically wounded. Blood was dripping out. Sharks came to Aquaman. Aquaman had to jump on the boat with the scientists and throw a decoy at for the sharks to go do whatever. But you're thinking, hey, Aquaman, you have these telekinetic powers to talk to fish or sea creatures. Well, that was gone because of the simple fact is he was wounded. He was out of energy, and it was like it's a little difficult for him in the state that he was in to do it. So the scientists brought him to an island for him to be safe for a bit. He tried to, he nursed his wounds, well, nursed his wound, and then the scientists then went back. And while the scientist got caught by his brother, and he forced his brother, basically forced them to show him where Aquaman was at, but they kept solid and didn't tell. But he ended up still finding Aquaman, and he used them as hostages. And basically, you can go read the free comic to know the little small details on how that part all went. But sum it all up was Aquaman freed them, and at the same time had a shark destroy the gauntlet. And I'm about to say some shit. Hey, while I know that's your brother, and he's supposed to be evil and stuff like that. He ain't have to still off on him while he was mourning the loss of the gauntlet. Like, oh man, I could have did some things for Atlantis, and like while he was moping and wasn't looking, Aquaman came up and snuck his ass and laid his ass clean the fuck out in the water. And, he wouldn't go bring him to prison and stuff like that or whatever. And I'm just sitting there thinking, damn, that was a smart way to finish your opponent. But at the same time, it's like, damn, Aquaman, to me, you're a bitch. But it was a free read. It wasn't all that. It was like a middle, like, it was all right. It was all right. It wasn't really, I really don't want to say mid because mid is used mostly for ass now. And it's like, it wasn't ass. It was just, it had a balance of like not interesting and good, a good look quality of the read. But it's whatever. It was basically like, hey, if you do Aquaman, I say get it. But if it could be a pass, it could really be a pass. So now we have Bring on the Bad Guys, Abomination. So we have Doom's out, we have Green Goblins, and we have Abomination. Here's the crazy thing. I swear like a week or two ago, I just got the Green Goblin one. And we're already at the Abomination. So I'm wondering how often are they going to actually bring out these issues for Bring on the Bad Guys, because it's already a told story. It's just that they are revisiting it and redoing it a little bit. But anyway, with the Abomination part of the story, it's really good. It's really good because he's already with you know what? I'm not going to start there. Let's go back to Doom one where Abomination was giving all his dagger to Sister Sorrow, and I'm pretty sure that's where I think that's the ending of his story right there. I don't know if y'all understand that. So what happened is you need the souls of past the cult, these I don't know, I'm not gonna call them Illuminati, like these all these witch doctor evil sorcerers, the descendants of theirs, their bloodline needs to be was not over with, so they needed some of like the blood of their descendants, and they just need some blood of them, and you get them by these daggers, these blood daggers or whatever. I forgot. Oh, soul daggers. They're called soul daggers. So with that being said, Abomination gave his to Sorrow and Doom. But where did he get it from? All right, so one of the sorcerers, witch doctors, whatever like that, was from Wakanda. Okay, so I know I piqued your interest. So it's from Wakanda, and so where the story of Abominations happens in Wakanda, and Wakanda like has this thing going on where they're looking up these old ruins, and they notice that there's a spot that's open also, and it's like, is anybody digging over there or searching over there? And it's like, no. So they went and they found a well, and that well was glowing, and some words was coming through. But then we go to Abomination trapped at he's trapped in a prison in Wakanda, and somebody from a whole different department came to give this man a deal to go check out and destroy what's ever going on in this area around that well. And he was like, I'll take on the job. He was playing hardball a little bit and trying to be a smartass. And the things he was, he agreed to do it though. And while on the plane right there, he was talking to the girls like, you're not from this department. I can tell. Why did you sit up there and take this job? And it was like, oh, I don't know. And he was like, look, I'm going to tell you this like this. I think they don't care about whoever got you on here on this job to come talk to me, don't care about your life. And you need to worry about that. You need to check your loyalties. She got a little upset and dropped him at the spot that he needed to be up in. And he went and go in that well, and he went go find out what's going on. And what was going on is that Wakandans was all Wakandans were getting attracted, or anybody around that village at that time was getting attracted to go there to that well, go in there and basically get drained upon on their life force and stuff like that, or something like that. And the the being inside of them is actually a descendant of that witch doctor that was in the cult that made this forge, the soul forge. And they need to activate the soul forge. You need their blood, the blood of the descendants, and you got to use a soul blade, a soul dagger to do it. And he's doing it like so. This guy that's in the well, he's saying I'm a descendant. Like he knows he's the descendant. Abomination knows he's a descendant of him, and saying, "Hey, you know what? You're a descendant of something, and I know I'm somebody that can use you, but I don't think I can do nothing with you because you're more monster than human now." So it's like I think this is a waste of my. I think this is a waste of time trying to tell that going to tell that person that you're here and you because they can't use your blood. So I'm just going to kill you. And the fight happens, and Abomination is way stronger, overpowered this thing. And man, I'm trying to remember this very well because I read a good bit of comics. But anyway, okay. So the spell woke off of all the people who was in that was just recently in there, and they asked Abomination to save them, and Abomination was like, "I was never here to save y'all." Boom, and left. And when he got left, and he was getting picked up from by the young woman who gave him this deal, he told her she was like, "Why didn't you save him?" "Oh, that wasn't part of the deal." And she was like, "You're a monster," and it's like, "Yeah, I am." But something you still didn't understand what I was trying to tell you about the loyalties that you need to be worried about, right? Yeah. You see, where there are agents in Wakanda that I know that I could pull strings with to get certain things I want, and you're one of them. You see, I was sent here by Mephisto or Sister Sorrow. He didn't really make that clear. You just said my client wanted me to be here, and I had connections to get here and do things and get you in this spot because I knew this creature right here that I just defeated had the blood of one of the sorcerers from way back then, but he's so monster, I knew it wasn't going to happen. But that sorcerer had brothers, sisters, and stuff like that, and they had kids. And guess what? You are one of those kids. And guess what? I came to take your soul, baby. Yeah, groovy. And yeah, he killed her and stuff like that. So that's where in Doom, when he was given the soul, like that soul dagger, guess what? He was given the soul dagger of one of the Wakanda villagers, or that Wakanda witch doctor or sorcerer descendants blood. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the Green Goblins had me lose interest in it, but Abomination, good job. You got me back into this story. So the reason why I'm into comics right now is because I wanted to read Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe, and it finally came out. The Godzilla versus whatever Marvel characters or whatever group or whatever like that. The Avengers ones didn't really really made me interested, and I was like, I guess that's what it's gonna be. But the Thor one was like, oh, Godzilla versus Thor was like, hey, that's what I like. I just read. Well, the Godzilla destroys the Marvel universe. This is actually a all right. So this is what I mean by a Godzilla thing that I like. Godzilla comes and stuff like that. He rampages the city, and they're going to continue on. That's basically just Godzilla comes, he rampages the city. But there's things that's in place that's in place that ends up making this happen. So I think last week I told y'all about the Avengers First Step comic, and they introduced this Mole Man, and Mole Man plays a part in the Godzilla verse. Godzilla destroys the multiverse. Godzilla destroys Marvel's universe. Oh man, it's gonna be hard to say, but anyway, he comes up, he he does this thing. He got the scepter. No, he finds some vibranium underneath the ground. This vibranium is different from the vibranium that's in Wakanda. It's been pressed like how being under being under the earth for a while presses like certain things and makes it more of a stronger material than what it already is. So like that's what happened with the vibranium that the mole man found. And he made this scepter out of it. And that scepter, like, it's supposed to make quakes to basically destroy the surface world very strongly and stuff like that. And Godzilla felt it, and Godzilla basically was basically like F that, I'm about to sit up there and I don't like it. Just basically I don't like that. And there's a reason why he don't like that scepter. But it starts off with Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four and the rest of the Fantastic Four talking about how there's like these quakes going on. But that's from Old Man. And they're like, bro, we gotta figure this out. Well, all of a sudden something comes out of ground. It's some celestial, I don't know how to say it. Celestial, you know those celestial dragons from the things that from One Piece. If you watch One Piece, those royal people, that name, the celestial, the royal people, their first name, yeah, a robot a robot that, not the whole thing, the dragon part, but a robot one. So, I can't say that. I don't know how to say that goddamn name. But anyway, that robot comes up and they're like, oh man, we got to deal with this. These things ain't supposed to wake up for millenniums and stuff like that. Why is this up? Then they see Mole Man and they're like, what did you do to wake this up? Mole Man like, F that thing. Worry about that thing. And they look up and it's Godzilla. And he just demolished the robot thing from the Celestials or whatever like that. And once that, everybody dealing that, they know of Godzilla. They know that he is like this monster, this monster, this kaiju that sits up there in Japan, and he fights for his dominance in Japan from other creatures. And they thought he was like this big, huge threat at one point, but they found out it was like, nah, he's somewhat as a savior too. But he's a big, huge threat. At the same time to like the city, but he fights anything that threatens his territory. And thing is that I think that vibranium that Mole Man found is messing with Godzilla, which with that beam it hit Godzilla and it's something that's like Godzilla don't like. And they was like, hold on. Reed Richards sees that Godzilla don't like that staff, that scepter that Mole Man have, and they got the scepter now. They're like, we're gonna do something with this to try to beat Godzilla. Reed was like, I got something, I cooked up something that can, fight with Godzilla with that. And Black Panther looking at it like, this ain't normal vibranium. This is something like a little tougher, but it's vibranium, but it's tougher because of the pressure. Probably it's found like it was deep underground in the earth that it did something different to it. Well, while all the Avengers are fighting, like not all the Avengers, but all these different characters are fighting Godzilla, they're not really having an effect. Thor come through, Captain Marvel, and none of them really have the effect. But boy, Thor got it bad. Thor came up like trying to handle Godzilla. Godzilla hit that motherfucker with his tail and leaped Thor and sent them into space. Captain America had to, not Captain America, Captain Marvel had to go and get Thor from space. Thor's mad, so he's going back to go fight Godzilla. But Godzilla does something like Godzilla and Captain America. Yes, Captain America squares up. And Godzilla didn't even try to stomp, call, nothing like that. He was like, I'm about to blast you. Don't come telling me something. Like, don't come telling me that this whole, like, New York or whatever little way of thing. Like, yeah, where I'm from, we punch guys like you in your nose, like punch guys like you in your face, stuff like that. Okay, bet. Godzilla threw a fucking beam at him. And Captain was like, oh no. Put up that shield. That shield blocked the beam and reflected it back at Godzilla and damaged Godzilla. Put a hole through Godzilla. But Godzilla got some regeneration factor to himself. And I'm sitting there thinking, which Godzilla is this? I'm thinking, because I know there's a few Godzillas that actually have regeneration. And I'm thinking they're going to go and put like a major strong form of Godzilla in this universe to fight against all these characters. And if so, this is going to be a read that's going to be having me come back over and over and over for every issue, because Godzilla, I learned, is like universal power, and I was surprised to hear. So it's crazy. But Reed Richards was like, hey, man, I got this advice. I think we could beat Godzilla. Godzilla destroyed the whole building, so it didn't happen. Black Panther was like, hey, I'm going back to Wakanda with this, and I'm going to figure out something with it. And they were like, okay. And right now, it's like, I think they're just going to get more people from the universe to try to calm Godzilla down or slow him down a little bit on his destruction, so they can basically fight him. They want him to go back to the water and go and sleep, but Godzilla fight, he's scrapping. So we're going to find out more, because I've seen that the cover for the next are some of the characters that might be in the next issue, but I'm wondering if that's true, because I'm wondering what Luke Cage is going to do, but we're going to find out, because he didn't do much when in the verses with the Avengers, he didn't do much. But with that being said, we're gonna wait till next issue, because I want that cover with Godzilla and the symbiote combined. So can't wait for it. Next up is Krypto, the last dog of Krypton, issue 2. Yes. It just continues for where they left off from the first one. So the first one left off with Krypto getting to Earth, and he gets a owner, because somebody found him on the street just wandering. The owner is basically, what's his name? Lex Luthor. So issue 2 is with him, Krypto, and Lex Luthor. And it's crazy, because Lex is as a child is wild. He talks about being in Smallville and how he set himself up to be out there in the city of Metropolis with his he's in the gutter with his aunt and uncle. He set something up in motion to get there, and he's trying to set some other stuff in motion so he could take over and be a billionaire, or for him to run the city. Now, this is Lex Luthor as a kid, and he's like, I put life insurance policies out on my aunt and uncle. And how he says that is that they put life insurance policies on themselves. They may not know it yet, but they did. And he made a bomb to basically, not really made a bomb, but made like this thing that put stuff in the air, makes everybody go to sleep, and then boom, it explodes, or makes stuff explodes some type of way where it makes itself goes, the device goes away, and then everything catches on fire and kills them. He just had a problem of actually doing it, like pulling the trigger. Basically, like he didn't want to do it. He wasn't really sure. He just didn't want it. He was like, he's a good guy. But you don't notice he's a good guy. Now, I'm not telling you all of this in order, because the simple fact is I wanted to say that part and then get to everything. Because he says he's a good guy, but really, you think he's an evil piece of shit, because he really is. But because okay, Krypto, the first one and the second one shows how Krypto is a good boy, a good dog, and his owners, real life shit ain't shit. Yes, Kyle, Superman's parents are shit. They use him as an experience, not a experience, as a test subject for the rocket for Superman to go somewhere, and it was like, man, wow, bro, you could have used other creatures, like not your dog, you know what I'm saying? You could have used others, but they use their own dog. So with that, Lex, he gets him, and he's just beating, starving the dog to get the dog to be disciplined and to be understanding of I'm master. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, you're not starving the dog, but you're not supposed to feed the dog like so freely. You have certain times of the day, so it's like depending on like it could be said as starving, but at the same time you're not supposed to feed the dog whenever the dog. You're supposed to feed him at certain times of the day to get the routine of the bathroom and stuff. But how I took it in the comic was like, you chewed up this, you chewed up that, you was acting up this. Guess what? I'm not feeding you today. That's how I took it with Lex. And I don't know if that was actually how it went or it was the right way. But hey, I took it as he was starving the dog because God did wrong. Because he chewed on some clothing, he chewed on stuff. Krypto was just starting to be miserable with Lex Luthor. So yeah, so that whole I'm really good, I'm really a good guy. Yeah, nah. And he was trying to say the dog is like him. No, bruh. That dog is a good boy, man. That dog's a good boy. That's a good boy. That's a good dog. You know what I'm saying? That's a good dog. He just want to play and chase and stuff like that, and you're being so freaking cruel to him. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm actually invested in this. I'm actually invested in these stories now. Like the first one, she was like, yeah, and I was like, boy, I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying this because it's like they play with the heartstrings with they play with the heartstrings with Krypto. I hope everything turns out to be good in the later issues, but man, they playing with the heartstrings. But so I don't know how. I might have to reread it, but the bomb ended up setting off. Like something happened where the bomb, because Krypto's not with Lex anymore at the end of the chapter. He ran away, but because the bomb set off, put Krypto and the family, like his aunt and uncle, to sleep while Lex was gone. Lex didn't pull the trigger to it. Something happened where it set off on its own. It caught on fire. You know, Lex. Now, shout out to Lex, but at the same time, dang dog, you was really gonna let the aunt and uncle die. He ran in that fire and went go get the dog out of everything. He went go get the dog. He was not gonna lose the dog, and he said in an earlier part in the comic where you might have to burn two dogs. And when the house was on fire, he didn't. He seen it. He was coming back from wherever he went, and he was like, "No, I'm going to get that dog. I'm going to get." He didn't call him Krypto. He called him dog. And he went there, and he was like, "I'm getting dog," and he got the dog. And while Krypto was trying to, like, when Krypto woke up from everything, he was trying to go to the fire, tell people there's a fire. People heard, and Lex was trying to like tell, man, chill out, man, chill out. No, let this happen because I want to get this money, like from, get this money from the what that's called, the insurance stuff and like that. And nah, man, the people thought Lex was trying to go save his aunt and uncle, which he's not. And when everybody saved his aunt and uncle, they was like wondering why the dog was still going crazy, and Krypto was going crazy because he was trying to tell him like, hey, it's this man's fault because he made a bomb to do it, not realizing like it accidentally went off. But like Krypto was like he made it, like, but nobody understands Krypto because he's a dog. And while Lex was trying to calm Krypto down, Krypto was like, man, don't touch me, I'm gone, and dashed off. And like I said, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm invested in the Krypto series. I'm surprised. I really am surprised. It's a good one. It's a good read. The new Avengers issue 2. I'm gonna say this is probably a real interesting read. I so Bucky's making him a new little team, and right now they have Natasha, the Black Widow, uh, Laura, I think that is Laura, the new Wolverine, uh, Namor, and like I said, it's all and it's him, Bucky, and I think that's it as the team. And they went go check on what's going on at a facility, and I think they think this facility's for Doom. And come to find out, I don't think it's really for Doom. And they really find out that this is they have clones of the Illuminati, which is Charles Xavier. Uh, I want to say Black Bolt or whoever the one with the sound. I don't know if that's Black Bolt or whatever. Like I don't really know much about him and stuff like that. Namor himself. There's like Doctor Strange, Black Panther. I want to say those five, and I think I'm missing somebody in there. Oh, and Reed Richards. So I think that's really it. I'm just gonna say those six characters. So they got clones of them. Doctor Strange, the original one, is missing, and I'm telling you that because that's going to play a part of this story. But the Illuminati is still there. It's just that they don't want to involve the Namor don't want to actually involve them, and I understand that. Like I understand because they're in the predicament they're in because of them. Like the world. I think this is all under Doom's universe, and whatever happened, like some of the things and some of the thoughts that's going on, like they're in this because of the Illuminati, and I don't know what it is. I don't know the story, all those stories, because I ain't touched those comics. But with that being said, it should not still matter. It somewhat matters in the story, but it's like it's not big of huge detail. You just know that they fuck some stuff up, and Namor was part of it, and Namor tell him, let's don't involve these guys. And the thing is like where we left off, these clones activated and they were fighting them. And I'm gonna say this is like, bruh, explosion happened and they're all just fighting each other because of Black Bolt or whatever his name is, and they're all fighting everybody. It's a difficult fight. Freaking no, I forgot one more character. Iron Man. Iron Man's beating the shit out of the new Wolverine, Laura. And they're trying to like, and I'm gonna say this. There's some infighting with these clones of the Illuminati because they do not want to be part. Like, there's some infighting. Like Black Panther's clone, he's not trying to be part of it. He said, "F that. I don't want to deal with nothing with you guys. I'm trying to do my own thing." Reed Richards' clone wants to he wants to destroy the whole world. He wanted like poison the world and kill him with a virus. Iron Man's like, you know what? Together we're stronger, and I'm down with your idea. His clone. Uh, Black Bolt's one. He don't even talk. Namor's one. He might actually. He's small, and he might be stronger than Namor because he used the control the creatures, like control the sea creatures on freaking Namor, and he had Namor bend the knee, like kneel to your king, and like he kneel before me, like you ain't this, and it's like, but he did, like so. Uh, Doctor Xavier one is a little weird. He's not in a wheelchair, and he didn't really do much this story, but Doctor Strange one was a big help. Doctor Strange one actually was a help on both sides because when they escaped, Doctor Strange clone basically helped a few of them escape, other ones just ran away, stuff like that. Because the fight didn't start going like the fight started going like badly, even though like the Wolverine, Laura Wolverine was not really helpful actually in the fight. She got after T'Challa clone, Black Panther clone sliced her up and put her off on the side. She was out for the count for a little bit, and all the others in the fight are basically struggling, but something happened because of Doctor Strange's clone being there. The Doctor Strange is missing, but guess who's looking for him? His wife, and his wife is actually like a dark sorceress, like I want to say, but she is the new head of the sorcerer thing that goes on with Doctor Strange, and she's been looking for her husband, and she sensed the clone and thought it was him and was like, "This ain't my husband, but I'm about to put you down for being even created." And she's going to help out with the new Avengers from here on out. But once she showed up, all those clones started to like, "Hey, we need to run," and they ran because Reed Richards could not like. Reed Richards was like, "All right, look, we can't handle it," and Iron Man was like, "Yeah, this is definitely getting difficult." Iron Man, his is basically he's still like somewhat like the original Tony Stark though. He sacrificed himself for a team, and because while everybody was escaping, they was content with Iron Man, and they had him captured. But Namor fucked the shit up and took fucking Iron Man to the sea and started fighting with him and stabbing him and all kind of stuff, telling me what's going on. And the Iron Man's clone was like, "You know what? The clone Namor is a better version of you." And guess what? He had you bend the knee, and it pissed Namor off that Namor basically sliced him up, stabbed him, and made him sink to the bottom of the sea. And there's no more of the clone, but they didn't get no information out of him. And Bucky told Namor, like, "Hey, bro, that's not cool. Like, we needed information." But they asked, Doctor Strange's wife, "Hey, look, we need your help. I want you part of the team. We're gonna need your help." Stuff like that. And she was like, "All right, so what we need to do is we need to get some more firepower because these guys are strong." And they went, and at the end of the chapter, they went go look up Bruce Banner. And I'm thinking, because where they at didn't look right, I'm thinking they're inside the Hulk's head trying to free Bruce Banner to come out so they can use the Hulk in the fight against these clones of the Illuminati. And we're just going to have to wait until next issue to find that out if that is true. Okay, so Death of the Silver Surfer. It's actually oh, I don't. Okay, so let's just talk about the first issue because this is issue 2 I'm about to be on. So issue 1, you find Galactus dead. The Silver Surfer is just doing things now on Earth where he's just trying to enjoy life, be part of life, be a savior and stuff like that. He saves a guy from dying. He stops a war. The world, especially U.S. government, don't like that. It's crazy, right? You don't like that he stopped the war. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, that's crazy. They trying to find a way to kill him, and that's really it. This female character, I forgot her name. I gotta learn her name for real. But just called her for purposes to give her some type of name. We're just gonna call her, let's say, Soldier. Let's just call her Soldier. And so Soldier, she was like, she's basically skilled at what she do at killing things with powers and stuff like that. That's a little stronger than normal. And she went after the Silver Surfer. She looked like she wounded him, but then all of a sudden it was like, boom, joke's on you, Uno, reverse, like, ha ha. And she was wounded, and he helped her out, brought her home, and met his Silver Surfer, met her mom, and they were talking about blah blah blah, just showing that he's a nice guy. And she went and she was like, "I'm just gonna keep doing my job." And they were like, "So you failed that?" And it was like, "Your next mission is go after what's his name? Claw? I don't know, Shiloh or something like that. The Son of Hulk. That's what we're gonna call him, Son of Hulk." And and she's going after him. Well, we pick up from there, and the guy who's running this organization for the defense for Earth against these monsters or creatures from space, Um, it's crazy because he's sitting up there. He's in outer space, and he went to find Galactus, and Galactus is dead, but something's there on Galactus that still have power, and he went go get that power, and that power it's now like it gave them enough stuff to make it back home. So something was warning him not to come fool with this. He destroyed that, wasted all the energies to the ship. He went go get this power that was in Galactus, and that power is basically he now has some of that power. He don't even got all of it. He got some of the power to start to refill his ship, and some left over to do damaging stuff. So we're gonna pause right there, and we're gonna go back to we're gonna go to the Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer's on Earth playing with kids, spending time with them. They was like, "Hey, why are you here with us? You know, you can stop wars." He said, "Can you be? I can't be anywhere. Can you?" He was like, "I can't be everywhere. Can you?" He said, "No." So with that being said, we're here together. How about we make the moment of together where I'm just doing normal stuff like that? Cops come talking about, "Hey, freak, get away from those kids." And the kids were like, "Hey, y'all leave him alone." Throw some apples at the cops. The cops started shooting at the kids. Kids like 8, 9, whatever year old. Silver Surfer stopped the bullets, melt the guns. The kids get scared of the Silver Surfer, and it's like, what? And the Silver Surfer look like, bruh, y'all are stupid. Like, you don't fear me. You fear the human being with a gun that shot at you that's supposed to protect you. Crazy. And like members of that little community were like, go somewhere, blah blah blah, this, blah blah blah, that. So Silver Surfer leaves. Well, while Soldier is hunting down Son of Hulk, because Son of Hulk, I'm guessing, is not like, I don't know what's his real origins. He have the power of the ancient ones or the old ones, and that makes him turn into like a Hulk type being and stuff like that. And he's using that ability to defend himself against Soldier. Soldier still whoops him because he's really just a kid, also like a teen. And Silver Surfer stops him and like, hey, Silver Surfer stops Soldier from killing him and something like that, or basically capturing him. And while like Silver Surfer had Soldier in a hole, like, hey, you gonna stop this nonsense, he feels something happening on Galactus that make him have to run. And like Soldier was like, "What you doing? What you so fearful about?" Talk about, I hope you never find out what I'm fearful about. Shot off. So back to the guy who runs the organization to defend the Earth against creatures like beings like Silver Surfer. He's on Galactus, about to go away, and Silver Surfer's like, "Hey, you don't know what you just done." And he looks back and he said, "Nah, I think I got the emotion of this." And boom, shot the Silver Surfer. And Silver Surfer was like, hurt, like really hurt, like he's dying. And like while the guy shoots off, Silver Surfer's still holding his chest, but something started glowing brighter and brighter on Galactus. And I'm just gonna say this, it leaves off there, and I'm thinking the death of the Silver Surfer just happened right there in this issue, and we're about to see what's about to be the end result of that. And I can't wait. Because I think the world is about to regret everything. So we have Marvel Knights, The World to Come. So the World to Come is an event that happens, and we are getting stories before and after because of T'Challa, and he dies, and we need another ruler for Wakanda, and we're about to find out what's going on. So we're about to figure out all this nonsense. And issue 1, if you haven't found out, that when Wakanda, T'Challa was fighting his son, the son reveals his face, and it is a white man. And we're about to find out what happened, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I remember, like, okay, I mentioned him the first time with I don't think I did mention but the Black Hokage, TBH, right? Shout out to him. He said something. I read his. I seen what he said about it. Talk about, man. He sat up there and he went go mess with a white girl, and it's like it's nothing like that. Because even I said something like I like that. He thought that T'Challa went go mess with a white woman. So it's like, damn. But reading the story, I did not get that concept. I got the concept of, because there's a scene, and you got to play with small little stuff in the background. And the small little thing I paid attention to was the woman he went. It was a black woman, and that black woman was a little too friendly with this white guy. And I was like, I think she cheated on T'Challa, or she was already pregnant for a white man, and T'Challa just whatever claimed the child and stuff like that. I was wrong. TBH was wrong. And then something else I was wrong on was the simple fact that, and y'all need to listen to this. I was wondering who this old guy was that the warrior group that came like for this old guy in the first chapter, first issue, the group that went go look for him. I was wrong. I thought that was a black, like one of the guys that was there at the summit at the fight against T'Challa and his son, but no, it was a whole different person, a white guy. That was a white guy. And I'm like, I couldn't really tell that. But now to think about it, okay, cool. I understand. And in issue 2, you start off by learning about this guy, which he have a full story, which I'm gonna open up the back of the book, the back of the comic book, and read points in time and dates of where T'Challa know this guy and stuff like that, and how this guy connects to this story. I don't know if it was a story before him or something like that, but there's points in the back of the comic book that shows you where do you meet Ross. That's his name. A guy who sold his soul to the devil for some pants. And it starts off, he was working a cubicle job, and he had a chance where he could have taken a job and worked for the government and stuff like that, secret doing espionage, not espionage, like with the FBI. There we go, because he did all this stuff for FBI agent later. So he could have did stuff with the FBI. So he's working a cubicle job. His girlfriend works with him. He don't really love his girlfriend. He loves her sister, really. And he goes. How this goes? He goes, and he's supposed to go meet his girlfriend's mother, go see his girlfriend's mother. So they're driving. He went to go get some cigarettes out the store, and he don't even smoke. But what it is, he just left his girl in the car, went in the store, went out the other way of the store, and left. And when he left, he just kept walking. And he went to the FBI agent to get a job. He left the girl in the car, and she ended up dying because something crashed on top of her. What it was looked like a pyramid type deal. She's dead, right? He don't even care. He didn't even look back. He didn't even know that even happened. He just kept on going. So maybe, like I said, in whatever, like those bulletin points in the back, it does explain probably what happened, how he sold his soul, what was the thing that killed his girlfriend. But I'm gonna have to go look it back up. So his name is Ross. He got a different name and stuff like that. He just disappeared, and he's the old guy that's telling the story about what happened the day when T'Challa fought for who controls the kingdom against his son. And he shows that he's doing a job, but he can smell. No, his partner can smell, like when him and his partner can really tell when something made out of vibranium is there, and he noticed and he walks off. He do notices, and he walks off, and then like his partner was still somewhere else, and he notices or something like that. But because they dealing with cartel members, and the cartel members get knocked out, passed out. The job that they was on because he worked for the FBI is done. But when he gets on the ship, but he's on the ship that's made out of vibranium, talking to somebody from Wakanda. You know who it is? It's I don't know. I think it's T'Challa's wife. And it's like, what the world? And he's telling her, like, I know you, and what the heck do T'Challa wants with me? Because I don't got time to deal with Wakanda bullshit and stuff like that. And he's like, man, look, I need you. Like, she was telling her, like, look, we need you. T'Challa's about to make a big mistake, and we're going to need you to help fix it. And they're like, I don't know what I can do. And they were like, come with me. She was like, just come with me. Help me out. So we're going to go help him out. Now, T'Challa and this guy actually got history. I don't know what it is. I do know what it is, but it's something a little bit different. Like, I'm going to get to it. It's going to need something that's going to be something that's going to be deeper explaining. But they go to this sacred area, do something that's basically taboo. They got like the god, like a Black Panther cubs and stuff like that, something like the sap they put in a box, and they go to the little fight what T'Challa is having, and they see T'Challa's getting his ass whooped and by his son. And now you're wondering if the things I said, why I'm still calling him his son, because he is. So, little history thing, like something that you might not know. Not even a history, because it still be done to this. You know, white people, and I'm really doing this because it's not white people just some rich people do this too, like in all races. But there's a major thing with white people. They buy kids. And you probably think like, what? No, like they buy kids that for adoption, where they buy the kid and adopt them. And it happened and it used to be major back in the day, but now it's a little different. But like they buy kids from other cultures and races and stuff like that. And I'm telling you that because this is what T'Challa did. You see, let's go back to Ross's girlfriend who died. Her sister died too, and the one to blame for that is T'Challa. And it's like, what? Wait, why? I don't know. Like I said, I need to get deeper into the story to find out. The mother of those two women blamed T'Challa, and she was like, I want to be reimbursed for my kid's death, and I don't take cash. No, I don't take. I take checks, cash, and checks. That's it. That's what she said. I take cash and checks, something like that. So she takes. So we've seen that little scene play out right like that, where T'Challa walks up and says that. You go back to Wakanda, and his wife is holding a white baby. He adopted the kid, so it's not no little mixed kid, nothing like that. He adopted the kid, and I really wish it was my story where it was like she cheated or something like that. But Siri says, bruh, the only thing you had to do was make an heir to the throne, right? And you went go adopt a baby, a white baby, and that baby have no Wakanda blood? Nah, bruh, that ain't smart. And you're wondering, like, wait, the cover issue 2 has her pregnant, and in the first issue she was pregnant. that was a fake. That was like the fake you out. Really, she was pregnant, but she lost the baby. That's a real subject matter. Just to let y'all know, that's a real subject matter. And so they adopted, and with the so you adopt this white child, and it's like T'Challa, like to go back to the fight, T'Challa calling him a son, and his son says, "Adopted son." And it was like, man, we're gonna keep scrapping, and they fighting, they still fighting and stuff like that. T'Challa losing, and like something happens where Ross comes up and he got a chest, and he got this little goddess, like the Panther gods and stuff like that inside this box. And I don't know what happened, how his T'Challa's son noticed Ross, but he looks up and is like, "You!" and throws like a spear, throws the branch he was beating T'Challa with, and throws it as a spear. And Ross's fall. And he was like, "Why are you here? You killed my parents." Now you just heard them, the mother of the two girls, like the mother of the two girls, say, "I want to be reimbursed. You killed my kids," and stuff like that. She wanted to be erased. He says they killed them, but come to find out, the son saying, "No, you really killed Ross. Really killed them." So we got to find out what's really going on there. Because what I'm thinking is, Ross, because Ross says, "Why does this kid look like me?" Somebody was pregnant. I don't know if it was Ross's girlfriend or was it the sister, because they're twins. And I think Ross actually went go mess around with the sister sometime. And I'm gonna just say this: that kid is, I already know that the kid is probably Ross's son. And Ross trying to wonder, like, who is this kid? Why he looks like me? And stuff like that. And it's because it's probably his son. And T'Challa freaking adopted him. But the strange thing about it, like I said, I got to read those little bulletin boards to the back that tells you about the history with Ross and T'Challa. Because, bruh, T'Challa yields because Ross was about to die from the sun. So he yielded. And so, right now, because he yielded, we have a new king of Wakanda. And it's a white boy. A white boy. So, the king is a white man's. A white guy. A white boy. And I'm trying to figure out what the world is going on here.